Welcome to Curly's Records and Discs.
And here's Curly.
Hello everyone, it's Curly. I am back to talk about records and discs. Today I've picked out my favorite debut albums on record and discs. Eli, do you know what a debut album is?
Yes. Someone's first record or album.
First record or album. So if you come out of the gate with an awesome debut album, you're setting yourself up for a great music career. So I'm going to talk about my favorite records and discs from artists' first albums. Number 4 on CD is Led Zeppelin's Self-Titled. What an amazing record. This record has power and strength. Jimmy Page, Robert Plant, bought this record from BMG back in the 90s when you used to get 12 CDs for one. So some of the originators of hard rock. See the cool Atlantic green and red on the CD. So great drumming by John Bonham. So, hard rock at its finest. Led Zeppelin debut album. Number 3, Pearl Jam 10. Some of the best rock from the 90s. Pearl Jam. So I always remember this album. I would start this album when I would drive to college, and when I would get to the college parking lot, the CD would be about over. So I could time my college trip out for how long this album was. So Eddie Vedder, Mike McGrady, great stuff here from Pearl Jam. 1991 on Epic. Number 2, Big Star, number 1 record. You know you're a good band when you call your debut album number 1 record. So this is actually number 1 record and their second album, Radio City, on the same CD. So this is Alex Chilton. He was a singer of lots of great songs, but Big Star was his second band. His first band was the Box Tops. They sang The Letter. Big Star might be most famous for their song from that 70s show, In the Street, but they had lots of other great songs on this album. So Alex Chilton, Big Star, they are kind of your 70s answer to the Beatles, with songwriting and guitars. Number 1 on disc, one of my musical heroes, Jeff Buckley. One of the best voices of all time. I really encourage you to go out and try to get this disc, or try to get this on vinyl. So, Mojo Pen, Grace. You probably know his version of Alleluia, which is a Leonard Cohen song. But Jeff Buckley has a great voice and a great band, and he could sing like, I don't know in how many octaves. But this is the deluxe copy of Grace with multiple CDs and DVDs. So there's Jeff. Jeff died when he was swimming in the Mississippi River and he drowned back in the mid-90s. Moving on to vinyl. Our top debut albums on vinyl. This is Devo. Are We Not Men? We Are Devo. This is actually an awesome picture disc for Record Store Day. Chichi Rodriguez is on the cover, so you can see the awesome picture disc. So, Devo, one of my favorite alternative bands. They're from Akron, Ohio. So, they're kind of one of the first alternative electronic bands, and they really had an interesting sense of humor on this album. This album, interestingly enough, also has one of my favorite producers, Brian Eno, who you may know from Talking Heads and U2 and Coldplay. So, that's Devo. Again, Curly, going through the top debut albums. Van Halen, self-titled. Wow, this was a crazy album in its time. This is 1978. It said "Ain't Talking About Love," "Janie's Crying." It had Eddie Van Halen's guitar debut, "Eruption," on it. So you all know about Van Halen. Eddie Van Halen died early last year. So great debut album. Lots of talented people. 3 albums left. X, Los Angeles. You may not know this band, but you should. One of my favorite punk bands from Los Angeles from the late 70s and early 80s. So this is on black and silver Starburst vinyl, which is very cool. Very neat. So I had male and female vocals with the guitarist was Billy Zoom, one of my favorite guitarists. He was in Gene Vincent's band as his first guitar gig. So that's X, Los Angeles. Listen to this one. You won't be disappointed. Number 2, The Doors, self-titled album, 1967. Break On Through, Light My Fire. What a great band. My favorite person in the band. Some people might like Jim Morrison. My favorite person in the band was Ray Manzarek. He was behind a lot of the music and a great keyboard player, and they just had the classic sound of the 60s. So that's The Doors. At number 1, The Cars. This album was almost so good, this could be a greatest hits album on their first release, on their debut album. So, one of my favorite bands, Ric Ocasek, Benjamin Orr, and others. Benjamin Orr, he's from Toledo. So, here you have Good Times Roll, My Best Friend's Girl, Just What I Needed, You're All I've Got Tonight, Moving in Stereo. What an awesome debut album. This was my number 1 on vinyl and on records. So those are my favorite debut albums on record and disc. And I hope you join us next time. And thanks for joining Curly's Records and Discs. Bye.